Happy Wednesday. This is Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Mrs. Mahabir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Gigi. I'm so excited to be here with you and your wonderful community.
It's such an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us more about you and where are you from?
So, I am from Houston, Texas, and this story began in 2019 when I started my first business, which is a VA business. And in that time, I was learning that what you need to do to build visibility, what's really important. And I started the business to leave a legacy for my daughter. So here I am, I'm starting the business. I really didn't know what I was doing, but everybody kept telling me you need to have testimonials. And it was placed on my heart, hear the journey. So here comes 2020, COVID happens, and I'm trying to figure out how do I build visibility to my brand, my offers, my services. And next thing I know, I see Ed Emlet, Jay Shetty, Gary Vee going live, and I'm like, I can do that, but how? And then I see my friend going live on Instagram, and I said, okay, she knows what she's doing. I can do this. And so after asking 9 people, I started going live. And so came the birth of what I do now, which is I am a video visibility coach who helps solo entrepreneurs, corporate professionals gain confidence by using the power of video so they can build visibility to their brand and business, and also get more inbound leads, work on their presentation, and even public speaking skills.
I love it. Now, what is your best advice to someone who may be experiencing camera shyness?
The first thing is you have to ask yourself, what is it that you are afraid to see in the camera? Sometimes it's, I don't like the way I look. Sometimes it's, I don't like the way I sound. Sometimes it's, I don't feel as if I have any value to share to anybody. And you have to think, what is it? And you can work backwards from that. Because if it's, I don't like the way I look, well, I don't like the way I look. Many people don't like the way they look on camera because let's just say it adds a few pounds, but it also shares that, okay, if you want to talk to your potential client, this is the best way to talk to them is through a video if you've never met them before. So one thing I always suggest, and it's a tip that I'm sharing with your audience, record yourself having dinner, record yourself going shopping, record yourself on what did you have for breakfast. The more you do that and seeing yourself on camera, the easier it is to create that first video.
I love it. Now, tell us more about your anthology book.
So the Pivot Anthology actually came to life. So when we go back to 2020, my fourth or fifth guest asked me if I wanted to be an author. And I said, of course, this has been my dream. And so the opportunity came, and there was 19 other people where we all collaborated and we spoke about our story, our journey. How did we pivot? And this was the first time that I actually put my story out in the public and realized the power of my story, the value that I have to bring to other people. And it also showed, hey, I was out here, I was trying to build visibility to myself, and this opportunity came. And so how many of you are dying for opportunities just to even get to be speaking in public, or even being able to get your first client or get more sales for your product or services? This is what video does, because it allows others to see, who are you? Why should I work with you? And can I see myself with you? Are you where I want to be? Does your story relate to what I do?
That's very true and very powerful. Now, tell us a little bit more about the major challenge that you had to overcome in your life.
Ooh, that's a really good question. A major challenge is believing in myself. This is something that when you are on your journey of entrepreneurship or you're doing that side hustle, this comes up a lot because people are going to come and say, why are you trying to do this? You don't know what you're doing. No, why do you want to take the harder path? This doesn't work. There's so many people out there doing what you do. Don't worry. Let them talk, because Anybody that I have met, everybody, they all felt this way. But once you start to believe in yourself, you don't care about what others have to say. You realize that you know what you're doing. And people fall in love with your confidence before they fall in love with your offer. So remember that. You got to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself more than anything in the world, because you're the biggest cheerleader of yourself, others will feel it. And they won't even care what the price amount is because they just believe it. You believe in yourself and you believe in what you do, and they'll feel it and they'll just give you. I mean, there's more to it, but that's just part of the equation.
That's right. Very powerful. Now, what does confidence mean to you?
Ooh, these great questions.
Thank you.
Confidence means to me being able to say, hey, there's somebody else who's doing what I'm doing, but not getting caught up in, wow, they do it better than me. They're smarter than me. They're prettier, better looking than me. It's just saying, okay, this is what they're doing. That's a really good idea. I'm going to write this down because you can get caught up in comparing with others and it can actually slow you down because your own thoughts can stop you. And so without having to go through that, the confidence that when I think of confidence is saying, okay, that's great that they can do that. What can I learn from them and how can I implement it into what I do?
I love it. Now, what does leadership mean to you?
Leadership comes up a lot because one of my clients, he is a leadership coach. So through him, I'm learning about leadership because I also have a team for my agency. When I think of leadership, I really think about being able to lead your team have better lives. And what does that mean? So I don't know everything, but I know that my team knows some part of the equation and allowing them to step in and be who they are, stay in their lanes. They know one person knows about design and he's amazing at it. Another one is a editor. He understands all about editing from copy to video. Then I have my junior producer and she's amazing at what she does. And I allow them to be in their lane so they can come and tell me like, hey, Sri, why don't we try this? Hey, Sri, why don't we do this? And so as I step back, I say, well, I don't have to know everything. They can tell me. And then I am encouraging them and inspiring them like, hey, you could do this for yourself too. Like, look what you just did for me. And now go do it out for someone else because I don't believe that you have to be stuck to me. I believe in encouraging others and their gifts. And I also am the type of person to say, hey, maybe this isn't for you. Have you thought about trying something new?
Very powerful. Write that down, ladies and gentlemen. Encourage others. I'll say it again. Encourage others. And I'll say it again. Encourage others. Very powerful. Now, Mrs. Mahabir, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
These questions. Okay. So, walking with purpose. And what was the other part of the question?
And living a life of happiness.
You're going to be doing things before you figure out your purpose. Now, listen to what I'm saying. We all are about, I want to do what's my purpose and I want to start that business. But I learned this week that sometimes what your purpose is may not be what the market is asking for. So you want to create something that the market is asking for in your industry and make money off of that so that it can fund your purpose in the long run. And at first, you're going to be really unhappy because you're like, I don't really like this, but it's making me money. And some of you might come after me at this, but you don't have to do that forever because eventually your purpose will be able to take over. I only share this because when I first started, I had a business, a virtual assistant, and it was getting me some work, but it was not what I wanted to do. Now, when I started to work truly in my purpose, because it took me time to figure out, this is when I realized I have a passion of helping others to get on camera, share their story, build out their strategies, and be able to do a live streaming show. And even to the point to now, I even produce for them.
I love it. Now, where can the audience find you?
So you guys can find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Twitter. My handles are there at the bottom. And then you can also go to my website, which is my name, srimahabir.com. But mostly I'm very active on social media, so you can find me there.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Mrs. Mahabir on her website, which is srimahabir.com, and also all of her social media platforms. And Mrs. Mahabir, thank you for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.